All right, we're going to go ahead and we're going to review TOC number 4. So the question is, the table of value represents a relationship between x and y. What is the slope m of the line that passes through the points? I'm going to have you go ahead and answer this question. All right, so we have to remember that when we are talking about slope, we have to talk about rise over run. And we've talked many times about how rise is, think about the sun rising. The sun goes up when it rises. Well, when we're looking at a coordinate plane, we have to remember that our y value is what rises. And when we run on a generally we run horizontally on a path or a road. And when we're looking at the coordinate plane, that is our x values. We always have to look at our y values first and then our x values. So what we want to do is we want to look at for the change between one value to the next in our rise. Well, how do we get from 0 to 6? Well, we go ahead and we add 6. Now, likewise, we want to take a look at the same x value. So how do we go from 0 to 9? Well, we add 9. Okay. So when I take a look at this, I know that I have 6 over 9, and I need to ask myself, well, what value, or the GCF, the greatest common factor that goes into both 6 and 9, and that's 3. So I want to divide each number by 3. So 6 divided by 3 leaves me with 2. 9 divided by 3 leaves me with 3. And I'm left with answer choice C. Now, if we're looking at the next two, some of you may not have done those first two. But we're noticing it's like, hey, Miss H, well, this goes up by 6, but this does not go up by 6. So let's take a look at the patterns that we can find between those. So we want to ask ourselves, well, what is the change in the y? Well, how do we go from 6 to 10? Well, we add 4. And how do we go from 9 to 15? Well, we add 6. So our rise over run would be 4 divided by 6. Now we need to ask ourselves, what is the GCF, the greatest common factor, the biggest number that goes in both 6 and 4? We know it's 2. So I'm going to go, well, what is 4 divided by 2? That's 2. And what's 6 divided by 2? That's 3. So we're still left with answer choice C. So even though you're noticing that the pattern is not consistent, regardless of whatever two lines you pick, whether you pick lines 1 and 2 or you pick lines 2 and 3, we're still going to get the same pattern. So what I'd like you to do now is you're going to take your highlighter and you're going to highlight and annotate and create your summary for TOC number 4. You should take about 5 minutes to do this by creating a solid summary to answer your essential question for TOC 4.